Focusing on food volume is going to be your biggest asset when it comes to losing weight, losing body fat. Now, why is this even important for you? Why is this an asset? It's because if you focus on maximizing food volume, meaning how much food is on your plate, you're going to be able to mitigate the hunger that comes with trying to achieve fat loss. When you enter a diet, when you enter a calorie deficit, hunger is expected. But focusing on food volume will help mitigate that hunger, allowing you to successfully lose weight without feeling overly restricted. When building meals, it's best to fill up on foods that are going to be very high in volume, but low in calories. So if you take a look at this diagram here, this is how a plate should look like if it's balanced out. The majority of your plate should be high volume, low calorie fruits and veggies. But high volume foods can also be the carbohydrate. High volume foods can also be your protein. So everything on this plate can be high volume, allowing you to eat a ton of food, but keeping calories low. Everything you see on this counter right here are high volume, low calorie foods. So I have things like ground beef, fat-free mozzarella cheese, light and fit Greek yogurts, Laughing Cow spreadable cheese wedges, low sodium chicken broth, shredded rotisserie chicken breast, tomatoes, onions, bell peppers. So it's a little bit of everything that's on that plate. Now, this is just the tip of the iceberg. Let me give you a few other examples of high volume, low calorie foods. So things like asparagus, broccoli, bell pepper, zucchini, like I mentioned, tomatoes, any salad, kale, I mentioned onions, mushrooms, cucumber, watermelon, blueberries, strawberries, oranges, kiwis, peaches, and cantaloupe. And all of these things, whether it's veggies or fruits, for every 6 ounces that you do have of this stuff, you're looking at about 30 to 60-ish calories. So you can have a ton of bell pepper, a ton of watermelon for very little calories. And that's gonna take up a lot of space in your stomach, thus helping you feel fuller at that meal, thus helping you mitigate the hunger that comes after that meal. It's gonna keep you full, or it's gonna hold you over until that next meal. Other carbohydrates that are typically high volume, low in calories are gonna be potatoes, oatmeal, apples are gonna be very, very filling. I'd rather you eat an entire apple as opposed to drink your calories from apple juice. Just one apple is gonna make you feel a lot fuller. Orville brand Smart Pop popcorn, these are individually portion bags of 100 to 120 calories. So you can have a ton of popcorn for only 100 calories. Corn tortillas are awesome vessel for literally any meal. Rice cakes, I use rice cakes a lot, especially with this Laughing Cow cheese spread. So each little wedge of this is only 25 calories. Each rice cake is only 30 calories. So you can have a ton of food for very low calories. So that's carbohydrate. For protein, we're looking at things like very lean ground beef. So this is 96.4 ground beef patties. I found this at Smart & Final. Convenience. This can be stored in the freezer and it can last forever. Go to your Smart & Final and pick these up. For only 150 calories, 25 grams of protein, only 4.5 grams of fat. So essentially, you can have 2 of these patties, 8 ounces, for only 300 calories. You see how you get to eat more food for less calories? For the same calories as you would get in 2 beef patties using 96.4 ground beef, you're only able to eat 4 ounces or 1 beef patty using an 80-20 ground beef, which comes out to about 240 to 260 calories. So essentially for proteins, you want to be looking at low-fat, lean protein sources. Things like egg whites, things like non-fat Greek yogurt, like I mentioned, 96.4% ground beef patties, chicken breast, chicken thighs without the skin, fat-free milk, a light mozzarella cheese, egg whites instead of whole eggs. Now, yes, whole eggs are still nutritious, they're good, but they do pack a calorie punch when you're using whole eggs. So I'd recommend, say, using 1 or 2 whole eggs and adding a lot of egg whites to give you more food volume. Serving size of many of these food options for protein will differ, but you're going to feel a lot fuller having consumed these foods. Typically because you get to actually serve yourself a bigger serving size as opposed to using an alternative of this food that's a little higher in fat. As an example, you can have 1 cup of fat-free milk, which is only 80 calories, as opposed to 1 cup of whole milk, which is 150 calories. So you see how you can essentially have more non-fat milk and still be under 150 calories versus using whole milk. So that's the gist of choosing leaner, low-fat protein sources. The cool thing about learning about nutrition and tracking your calories is that you'll realize that you can have carbohydrates, you can have potatoes, you can have tortillas, cereal, and still make progress. You don't have to cut out your favorite foods. You don't have to only eat chicken and broccoli. You don't have to only eat salads. You can include salads and include a shit ton of potatoes or 3 or 4 rice cakes, and that plate will look huge and you'll feel fuller doing so. So start choosing things that are lower in calories but higher in volume. For protein, things that are lower in fat, it's gonna help you eat more of that food. If you want a PDF version of the foods that I typically eat on a day-to-day basis that's helped me lose 20 pounds this year, link is in the description below. Feel free to download it completely free, and I hope it helps you out. For now, that's gonna be the end of the video. I hope this was very, very helpful because I wish I would have had this education around food early on in my journey. I would have made progress much, much faster. Because as an overweight kid wanting to lose weight, I thought I had to sacrifice all of my favorite foods. I had to sacrifice tortillas, I had to sacrifice rice, I had to sacrifice potatoes, I couldn't eat granola bars, I couldn't eat ice cream. But then I found out that there are foods that are basically the same thing as I was accustomed to eating that are lower in calories, higher in volume. If you're enjoying my content, let me know what else you'd like me to cover. And if you're new here, subscribe. That'd mean the world to me. Like the video, share it with a friend, post it on your social medias, tag me at Steven the Dietitian. I'd love to see those reposted. But as of right now, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.